I was a person who believed in the kind of all or nothing principle, where I had to get everything done that I could possibly get done, otherwise it was pointless. If I had set, I want to do an hour of uni studying, and I got to that point where it was like just gone past that hour time slot, I wouldn't do anything. And this kind of, mindset is just not helpful, because you end up doing a lot less anyway. Instead of being like, I need to do an hour every day, I need to do half an hour here, half an hour there, I need to do this there, that there, whatever. You don't actually end up doing much of anything. If me saying to myself, I have to work out, I have to do 30 minutes of cardio, and then I have to do 45 minutes of weight training every day other than a rest day or a day that I'm doing boxing. If I really, really don't feel like doing it, I would rather have nothing. You would. If the options are between either doing something or having to do a lot of something that you don't want to do in the first place, it creates enough friction for you to just not want to do it at all. So that's when the kind of idea that, something is always better than nothing. I have days where, yes, my goal on most days is to do cardio for 30 minutes, and that's great. But if I can't do those 30 minutes of cardio, then I'm just gonna do 15. If I really don't feel like doing 30 minutes of cardio, and it's like I have zero willpower to push myself for that 30 minutes, I'd rather do 15 minutes than 0, because that is infinitely better. If I can't do a 45-minute workout, if I really can't bring myself to do it, I'd rather do 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, 10 squats, you name it. So I'm actually doing something. I don't know where the whole all or nothing principle comes from, because it actually just ends up doing more harm than good. I don't know why people think that, let's go at it. It's good. It's good if you can do it, but not everyone is David Goggins. Not everyone can stay hard for that long. I don't take it out of context, but why would you do that to yourself? And as someone who did do that, I think to myself, you're basing that off the success of, if I do 100%, that is a successful day. Everything else is obsolete. But the day, you could always, in theory, make it worse by doing nothing. You could make it worse by going the opposite way. Instead of working out, you actually just sit and watch TV and stuff your face with junk food. And that's worse. And then you're going backwards, and you're not actually going towards the direction that you really want to go. You're not making any kind of improvement there. You're not increasing your health or bettering your health. You're not increasing your willpower either. So the thing is, when you really don't want to do something, kind of microdosing willpower will bring it up. So if I say to myself, man, I really don't want to work out today, but I do it anyway, even if it's for 15 minutes of like spamming lateral raises like a complete animal, that's better than not doing it at all. If I just, instead of cycling on my bike for 30 minutes, I just go for a walk, that's better than doing nothing. If I, record one video or edit a script or refine a script, write some ideas, think of thumbnails, think of whatever, talk to my editor, Don. Don. As long as I'm doing something productive towards that goal, then I can take that as a win, because that's a small win. And no matter how big or small a win is, believe it or not, it's still a win. So it's like, okay, I've made a small win. And maybe that small win's enough to push you to take another small win. Maybe you just doing 10 push-ups is enough for you to be like, man, I'm going to do another set of 10 push-ups. It's like, yeah, okay. And then you end up doing 25 push-ups instead, because you're like, I'll do another 5. Or sitting down and studying for like 15 minutes at the end of the day, after getting back from school, might turn into you finishing your homework. It might not, granted. It probably won't most of the time if you don't want to do it in the first place. But you've started making that step. And that step might turn into multiple steps, because you've broken down that barrier of starting. That starting barrier that just kind of like woos you off and just there, like, this is an ideal. I kind of got to get through this wall. And when you see that on the other side of the wall, it's only kind of 5 minutes of time, you're like, actually, the bar of entry is now pretty low. I'm going to do it. You do it. You get past that starting fear. Now you're on fire. Now you're quite literally rip and tear, shredding shit, whatever. We've got such high expectations of ourselves quite a lot of the time. And it's good to have high expectations of yourself, but it's bad when these are unrealistic. I understand that not every day I am going to be able to do 100% of the things that I want to do. So on those days, I just give it my 100% for that day. My 100% today may be absolutely just shredding it on the bike, getting like 10 kilometers in 15 minutes or whatever. Or it might be a general kind of slow paced cycle for half an hour or even 10 minutes. My 100% today is going to be different from yesterday. It's going to be different from tomorrow. What I'm capable of doing now, or I think I can do now, may be different after I finish recording this in like half an hour's time, in 3 hours' time. It doesn't really matter, but do it. Just push yourself to do it. Just a tiny amount, just enough, just to microdose that kind of willpower. Just kind of microdose the fact that, oh yeah, this isn't as bad as I think it is. And if you do miss a day, it's not the end of the world, because it's kind of, in general, as long as you're doing the right thing, as long as you're making progress, doesn't matter. As long as you're taking a step in the right direction, doesn't matter how big that step is, it's still a step in the right direction. So the bare minimum that you can do today, if you don't want to do something, if you really, really don't want to do something, just do the absolute bare minimum, because then at least you're taking a step forward in the right direction.